Literally a single call could have been argued, leading to an entirely different outcome. Along with that was a drive from Simon, which felt eerily reminiscent to KJ's near ACL tear turned ace. Absolute insanity of an event. It genuinely had it all. So with that, let's get into it. Also, WACO's a recursive acronym. Cool. Get it? Please clap. Honestly, I know people have been getting a little burnt out by the overabundance of courses, specifically in Texas and specifically WACO, but for the 100th round, I still believe it has all the magic that can produce quality disc golf. The randomness of the wind, the make it or break it wooded holes, the putts that will test your absolute confidence. It is one of those courses that truly makes me cherish every woods hole that we get on tour. And along with that, we got an absolutely amazing combo, Charlie and Brian in the booth, looking spiffy as ever, with honestly an amazing balance of awareness of the key moments, never speaking when nothing needs to be said, as well as hyping up the key moments. It truly offered exactly what viewers were asking for and finally warranted the price for DGN. So with that, before we dive into the insanity of MPO, let's see what happened on the women's side. And if you like my content and want to support me, check out my site wildrunsdiscgolf.com for great deals and be sure to subscribe. I really appreciate it. Alright, so on FPO, we kind of knew it was going to be a three-peat from Kristin. It felt inevitable, but even though we knew this, it still felt like she might crumble under the weight of WACO randomness. But like dozens of wins Kristin has won before today, nobody can stop her when she is smooth, calm, and collected, which is exactly how Kristin won by 7 strokes over Henna and the rest of FPO. And honestly, there was never a doubt besides a slightly rough stretch of backhands, but overall her final round was 100% C1, which was 12 for 12, which will definitely be relevant later. And this also concludes her highest event rating ever. But while she did destroy, she also had some of the most jank looking bags because it is literally duct taped, which I presume to be Latitude's like copyright worries. I don't really know, but man, it looks jank as ever. But as far as her play, I feel like her forehands are looking dialed. Her putts are super confident, still lacking a little bit on circle 2, but overall, I feel like when she is calm and collected like this, there's no one else that can take her down. So of course, she wins. But that's not really the interesting part here. What is interesting is the rest of the field. Starting with Katrina, obviously had a baby last year, and her last event was the Preserve. So she is finally back in the mix after getting second at Shelly Sharp. She ultimately didn't even finish top 50%, but you know what? Who cares? This is her first real event back. Next up, Jessica Weiss. I honestly have not thought about her in a long time, but looking at her putting and drives, it has certainly improved, and her overall fun playstyle is incredibly interesting to watch. But her final round was pretty lackluster, ending with even alongside injury. It didn't really feel like her best, and she finishes in 6th, moving back 3 places. But for me, aside from her insane looking forehands, the most interesting putt was one where she was tucked into an electrical box. It was absolutely insane. I don't know why she wasn't given relief, but who cares? She made the most insane looking putt and shushed all the haters, which I think included people on her card. I don't really know, but whatever. It was interesting. But the real GOAT of the day was Rebecca Cox, showing up with her highest round rating of all time, 1035, parked nearly half the holes in a point where in general it didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Get it? I'm a dad joke. I can make dad jokes now. I'm cool. All right, I'll move on. But looking at her play, which I didn't see a lot of because she wasn't really on league card or anything, she played out of her damn mind, and she pulled kind of a Calvin-esque final round where she had an amazing round, but she finishes in 8th because she was so far behind. Still, love to see it. But the real contenders were Holyn and Henna, mainly Henna. Absolutely could have made this a battle with Kristin, and yet time and time again, especially this weekend, we see her putting is such an extreme hindrance to her game. My wife literally mentioned if she made even half those putts, she'd be in it, right? And I was like, yeah, you are so right. She would have been totally in it with a 50% C1 in her final round and 50% total. Missing 19 putts overall in the entire event. I'm not really sure what to make of it. Her drives and upshots are amazing. Her standstill anti-backhands are immaculate. I do not understand how she can be so good in one part of the game, but absolutely dreadful in the other. It is really feeling like her putts are kind of reminiscent of Evelina's in her worst heyday, which is ironic because Evelina did have that extreme 5-putt here. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, here's a quick little montage. So overall, while her play was amazing, there was just so many faults in her putting that she was never really in contention. And on the flip side, Holyn had amazing putting, but everything else kind of lagged, and so she still falls back 7 strokes. But onto the real amazingness of this entire event, it's MPO. Starting with the outliers, Jake Mon, out of nowhere, ties the course record. I cannot believe this. So sick, but on a Holy Teen, he absolutely crushes it, gets to circle 1, and makes the birdie putt. And Nico and Evan Smith finished in 3rd place. I didn't really see much of them, so I don't really have much to say about them. The person I do have a lot to say about is Calvin.
Oh, no.
Oh, Calvin. He looked like the absolute front runner until the very, very last second. After a missed putt on hole 16, it was like, okay, just gotta stay calm, stay collected. But then he goes out of bounds on his drive on hole 17, and then he goes for the most absurd upshot, leading to a triple bogey, putting him from first to I think like 11th. I don't really know. It was crazy. And so that continues an insanely bizarre streak where he has missed the win on the last 6 events where he had the lead or had a share of the lead. Seriously needs to clutch up in these final round moments. I don't really know what it is. He has the absolute highest abilities alongside Gannon, but just no ability to finish.
Let's go, see.
And speaking of people that were in the mix, there was 9 players back 4 to 5 strokes. This is the first time we have ever had that many people in contention. But someone that should not have been in that mix was Paul. Paul being right in the forefront, literally leading on hole like 9 or 10, I think. It was all looking to be a comeback Paul win. He has done amazing things here in the past, and then he goes dead cold, not being able to string much of anything on the back 9 going even. His shot shaping was perfect as ever. It was looking phenomenal. No doubts that was a strong point in his final round, but damn, his putting was just not there when it absolutely needed to be. So he finishes well behind, and you might be thinking, Simon, did he win? Nope, this is not a Simon win. But like I said in the intro, this could have been a Simon win, and potentially should have been a Simon win. With some of the most bizarre things, specifically his first round where he plays from the wrong lie, even though his spotter said his shot went out of bounds, but it didn't go out of bounds.
I played from the wrong lie because I thought I was OB, but my disc actually came back late and kind of like cut rolled back under the fence into the fairway. And we all thought I was OB, so I just threw my shot, didn't even call it provisional. The spotter didn't really bother to say anything. The crowd didn't really know or didn't say anything, so.
And so he played what technically was a practice shot, even though he didn't know that, which in the grand scheme of things could have amounted to him winning. It's all up in the air. But he did have a phenomenal back 2 rounds, moving from 41st to 1st place with a few holes to go. His putting and drives were dialed. I really feel like if he could just string the entire thing together, he would have been dominating. But he finishes at 29 under, which seems very respectable, especially after a pretty mid first round, but he falls short in the most bizarre way. Also had one of the most insane drives on 18. Like I said in the intro, almost could have broken his leg, but luckily no damage besides a couple of scrapes according to his log. Absolutely insane. But no, he did not win. It is Adam Henna's time, which is a hot topic right now because he did go out of bounds on his drive on hole 18 in round 2. And if you're looking at the pictures, it looks pretty obvious that it is out, but he was able to talk to his card mates and approve it as inbounds, which again, like Simon's drive going out of bounds, but not really out of bounds, it is all these small strokes that us fans like to obsess over, but honestly looking at it as a whole probably wasn't that important. And I want to say, having not known the fact that he did kind of call something in even though it wasn't in, I would not have guessed that I would be rooting so hard for Adam to win this and beat Simon. I mean, Adam is a touring vet. He's been around for a while, but after a hilariously abysmal few rounds at the Go Through Tour where he posted all of his fails, I love how brutally honest he is with himself. And honestly, I would not have picked him for my top 10, maybe even top 20, but he has aced here before and he continued that dominance here with a final stretch that was honestly more of a war of attrition and just needing to push. He even spoke in his interview how he just needed to play aggressive towards the end. He had the mindset of go for it no matter what, which included an insane eagle on hole 7 where he forehands right up to the basket. I can't even get it to like 200 feet close to the basket. He literally almost parked it. He did go on a cold stretch after that with a bunch of pars, but this is Adam Henna. And on a course like this, where you don't actually need that much distance, it is all about accuracy and putting, and that is what his game has always been about. So as we move on to the latter half of the course, everybody on lead card was going cold, and so Adam just had to play aggressive, and aggressive he did, throwing as close as you can get to the OB line on hole 17. He parks it for the birdie. And after that, he knew he had to birdie the next hole to beat Simon. And as somebody watching, I was like, we're getting playoffs. There's no way he's going to go for the birdie on this. It is just far too risky. But this is Adam Henna that can make any putt. So he's looking at like a 35, 37 footer with water behind him. If he misses it, he's almost certainly going to lose. And then he does this. Absolutely ice in his veins. This is a Burr-esque shot. I am so happy he was able to win this. This is his 4th Tour Series win, which feels in a strange way like it's a lot, but also not that much, weirdly enough. But I'm so excited to see this win. It was incredibly hyped to watch live, and Adam cements himself as a top tier pro. You may have some strong feelings against him, but I do feel like that's actually not warranted. The days of him being kind of toxic are done. I think he's definitely more mature, and that actually was shown in this entire round. He didn't get salty, he didn't get pissed off, he stayed calm and collected, and finished the event with confidence that no one else had. And here's what he had to say.
I was pinched on 17. I had to like swing my flippy raptor out and over the water into the wind that would slam it. And it was either, pin it or lose. So I just trusted the shot, and luckily it got that little lift at the end, hit the koozie and sat.
Well, I mean, talk us through the pressure that you're feeling on that, 40-footer there for the win?
I just told myself, don't fluff it. Don't give it a weak bid like you've been missing them all day.
So in conclusion, what did you think about this event? Even though we've seen it a million times, do you think it still belongs on the tour? Personally, I definitely do. This has been such a fun event that I really want to see more of it. And did you think Simon deserved the win? There were 2 strokes that were definitely up for debate. And do you guys think we need to revisit OB rules? Because honestly, it does feel like this is kind of broken because any player can argue and everybody else on the card does not want conflict. So they'll be like, yeah, you're in, sure, I don't care. It really feels like a recipe for disaster. But with that, what do you guys think? I'd love to know. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe. I have a lot of fun content coming. With that, Wild Runs, signing out. Peace.